When you look at your hands and your feet, do you see them as just extensions of your body? Or do you see them as the Prophet ﷺ said every single morning, they say to the rest of the body, ittaqillaha fina. Fear Allah concerning us. That's why the Prophet ﷺ, he told us when you're walking and making dhikr, everything that's around you is witnessing you. Everything. In the Middle Ages, as you will study in your history, these are known as the Dark Ages. It was the Muslims that set up the key principles and foundations during our strong times. They have no sense of anything extraordinary. They have no sense of a miracle in their lives. Why is this important for all of you to know? Because slowly and surely, the Muslims are becoming the same. If I was to say to you that there are 400 people in this room, but there are 1,000 angels, you'd be like, my point is to say this, that they became so detached from their own Christian beliefs. These are the same countries that we used to execute and crucify scientists. Right? At the time when the Muslims were leading the world, and the Christians had only a few people like Galileo and Newton and Einstein and whatever. In the Middle Ages, as you will study in your history, these are known as the Dark Ages. Even the West are ashamed of this period of time. They are called the Dark Ages. Dark Ages because the people who controlled these countries, which were essentially practicing Christians, they would destroy any effort to study and to advance, and they would kill all the teachers and academics and scientists and so on and so forth. Whereas the Muslims were obviously, therefore, the only source of knowledge in the world. And because we weren't living in their areas, we carried on and we set up all of these sciences, whether it's maths, whether it's science, whether it's engineering. It was the Muslims that set up the key principles and foundations during our strong times. Obviously, that's gone to pot now, that's gone messed up now, but the point is that the West then took over that. And as a result, they sold their religion completely. They have no sense of anything extraordinary. They have no sense of a miracle in their lives. Why is this important for all of you to know? Because slowly and surely, the Muslims are becoming the same. The Muslims are becoming the same. Do I mean by that you don't believe in Allah? No. Do I mean by that you don't pray and read Qur'an? No, you do. What I mean by that is that in your heart, if I was to say to you that there are 400 people in this room, but there are 1,000 angels, you'd be like, really? Okay, maybe. You would not have the same certain response if you turned around and you looked and you said, yeah, 400 is probably about a right estimate, or 200 is a right estimate. You would look around and say, yeah, there's 200. Because you have such confidence in what you see. But your connection to the unseen is weak. If I was to say to you that there are angels in this room, because they gather, you'll stop, you will pause, you will think, you will say, okay, I'll say yes. You might even say yes just out of loyalty. You might even say yes just out of fear. Your connection to the unseen is weakening every single day in the modern world. When your connection to the unseen weakens, then you stop believing in barakah. You stop believing in the gift of the Qur'an, in the power of the Qur'an. What do you mean power? What do you mean if I can't see power, if I can't see energy, if I can't measure it on an amp meter, then there is no energy, there is no current, there is no power. When you start thinking in secular terms and you start becoming dominated by that side of the world, that side of life, you then will not then understand that the Prophet ﷺ was every single moment of his life connected to the unseen world. That's why the Prophet ﷺ, he told us when you're walking and making dhikr, everything that's around you is witnessing you. Everything. You must be thinking to yourself, really? Do you walk around, I want you to ask yourselves, and look, and when you're walking in the streets and see a stone or see a wall or see an X or see a Y, do you immediately think this is a wall, or do you think that this is something that could give evidence against me or not? Just as an example. When you look at your hands and your feet, do you see them as just extensions of your body? Or do you see them as the Prophet ﷺ said every single morning, they say to the rest of the body, ittaqillaha fina. Fear Allah concerning us. Because we're connected to you, we can't do anything, but we follow you. And they're speaking to you, meaning the decision-making process, which is mind and heart. Every day you make a decision. Wake up for Fajr, don't wake up for Fajr. Read Qur'an, don't read Qur'an. Be rude to my parents or be good to my parents. Steal something, don't steal something. Make the right decision, not the right decision. You make these calls every second. But the body, this speaks to the rest of the body. You don't see it, you don't hear it, you don't feel it, but the Prophet ﷺ says happens every single morning. Fear Allah with respect to us. You're going to go now and make decisions. It's going to affect us as well. And they will be living in this fear until the Day of Judgment. And then on the Day of Judgment, you have all memorized what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. تُكَلِّمُنَا أَيْدِيهِمْ وَأَرْجُلَهُمْ بِمَا كَانُوا يَكْسِبُونَ. That day, they will then be free of any stress or any responsibility, and the hands and feet will then speak. You can't imagine that. When you look at your hands, do you think that these will speak? You don't think of it. But you've read that. You've heard that. It's meant to be part of your fundamental belief. But you don't feel it the same as when you see a person speaking. Because your connection to the seen is strong, but your connection to the unseen is not strong. And this is very dangerous, my brothers and sisters.